Welcome back, everyone. There's a new movie that's hit the theater, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and it's called Eddington. Here to talk about that are Bart and Jennifer Mills, our local movie reviewers. Welcome, Bart and Jen.
Good morning.
All right, so this deals with kind of like small town life, I believe, right?
Well, this is Ari Aster, and if you know Ari Aster, the director, this is his fourth movie. He did Hereditary before then, and one of our favorite movies, Midsommar. And this is basically his take on a sort of contemporary Western, but it is also largely a political treatise on sort of how we all went mad in 2020. So this stars Joaquin Phoenix, as his last movie did as well, as a small town sheriff aptly named Joe Cross. And he is in opposition with the local mayor of Eddington, this small New Mexican town, and that is played by Pedro Pascal, who by law has to be in every movie released this summer. And the two start off in an argument. This is 2020, May of 2020. So if you'll remember, we were deep in COVID and people were sort of going insane. And this starts off over a mask mandate. The sheriff doesn't believe that we should be using them, and the mayor does. And it grows into a political campaign, and then it goes into this kind of chaos that we all sort of experienced between the ideas of the paranoia and conspiracy theories that were out in the world. Everybody new to their all-day use of the internet and social media, the Black Lives Matters movement. Everybody gets taken out in this. This is a very dark comedy, and it just, as Aster's movies do, it just keeps growing and growing and growing until you're just in this paranoid sense of just a violent rush.
Yeah, so I think we all remember, the pandemic and what that was like. But how is the storytelling in this movie? Does it make you relive it?
To a point, yes. I mean, you're definitely put back in there, and you remember how it was when we first kind of were allowed to go out of our homes, and we had to distance, and only a few people could go into a store at a time, and you were worried about touching things, and it does put you back in that. But these actors are just so good in these roles, and the story is just so engaging that you don't really feel like you're reliving it.
Okay, so I'm going to go to a critic review on this one. This critic said, "It is undeniably a great effort from everyone involved, and it is exceedingly darkly funny. For a first attempt at a Western, I'd say Aster nailed it."
Well, we call it a Western just because of the setting, and there is sort of a high noon thing between a sheriff and a local politician. And then, really, to be honest with you, the core villain in the whole thing, behind everything, is technology. Which is the case in almost all instances today. So it does work as a Western, but more than anything, it is a dark, black-hearted comedy. It is a satire, and it's taken to great extremes. And the critical response has been interesting to me because both sides kind of are blasting it to some degree. If you're on the right and you thought that mask mandates were idiotic, then you see yourself as a punching bag in this. And the same thing if you're on the left and you were sort of signaling your general absence of racism in your life by shouting over your Facebook page in the 20s. You're also made fun of here, especially young people. They're an easy target because they're angry young men are a staple of our youth. And so I think it's been interesting to watch what the critics have said. To my take, he equally took on both sides, and that's what sometimes good comedy does.
All right, so real quick, are we giving this a thumbs up, thumbs down, or just somewhere in the middle?
I give it a thumbs up, and I really like this movie, and I think it's important to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing it again when it comes out in streaming because it takes a little time to study. But in the same sense, I give it a thumbs up, understanding that it is not for everybody. So if you don't want to work that hard at a movie, and it's 2.5 hours long, so it is some work, just skip it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's a lot of layers to this movie. Like he said, there's the mask mandate, there's COVID, there's lockdown, there's Antifa, there's Black Lives Matter. There's so much going on. If you take any of those things way too seriously, you're probably not going to enjoy this, but if you take it in the text that it was created, then I think you're really going to enjoy it.
All
Because
right.
the actors did a phenomenal job.
So 2 thumbs up for the movie Eddington. Well, Bart and Jen, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, well, don't go away because we have more when we return.